Hi everyone, I just thought I'd do a quick video update about Daisy and my progress with her. I know a few of you are coming to help me out in a few weekends' time here and there, but I thought I'd get a bit of a head start this weekend, and I was hoping to get some of the suspension components painted up, but with farm work and everything, I found the preparation between jobs has taken longer than I thought, and I haven't even started any painting. But I thought I'd give you a bit of an update anyway. So far, I've cleaned up the workshop here, so we've got a bit of room around Daisy's chassis, and put the tool chests over there, so we've got a bit more room there. And most parts are still sort of categorized in their boxes. There's a front hub there, and he's at CV boots doing and everything, all cleaning up and respraying. Engine's still sat there in the way, which I'll move at some point. Axle still needs very much stripping off and de-rusting, and those brackets, those big brackets there, they need to come off to be replaced. I've got a couple of perfect replacements for them from Blood Red Off-Road. I'm hoping these bottom brackets are alright. They're certainly in better condition than the top ones, but I guess we'll find out when we strip all the rust off and whether they need any reinforcing. I've even started to get organised with properly labelling all the bolts, and I've actually got these bolts soaking in some stuff which hopefully is eating the rust. So a couple of years ago, Tim introduced me to this product called POR 15 or POR 15, which is an American product. It's like a paint. They don't call it a paint. They say it's a paint-like substance, but this is actually the metal prep, which I'm using to de-rust some stuff. You can just put it straight onto rust, and apparently it just eats the rust, and you can dip your tools and bolts and stuff in them like I am there, and you can even reuse it after using that if you just filter out all the muck. So I'm just giving that a go. Oh yeah, lemon back hubs. Look at that. The tin around the outside of the drums, or the drum back plates I suppose, is all corroded away, and I can't get replacements for them, which is a bit annoying. So I'm thinking of cutting them off and seeing if I can make new ones or have somebody make them for me. There is a fabricator nearby that might be able to do things out of tin like that, but it's a bit of a pain, but maybe we'll just paint over it as last resort, depending on how much time we got. Let me take you down to the stable, which yesterday I cleaned out because it was all full of straw, having had cows in it a little while ago, and I wanted it all clean and dust free for painting. So this is our spray shop, which I'm hoping to use for all the small components, like lower control arms for the front, upper control arms, ARBs, brake brackets, or just like name the part, torsion bars for the front suspension, rear, upper training arms, some steering arms and rods and stuff over there, a couple of springs. Thought I might strip them off and give them a bit of POR treatment. Oh, there's the other front hub. I already, some of these components, regrettably, I've already sandblasted, wet blasting that is, and coated them with a rust converter, which hasn't worked that well. I mean, they did flash rust anyway after I did it. But I think I want to do this again. I want to use a grinder as much as I can. We're using poly wheels and wire brushes and stuff, and try and get most of the rust off, certainly the loose stuff, and then use that metal prep stuff to treat the rust. and then chuck some of the POR15 on it. That's the actual, I won't call it paint because I don't like being called paint, the paint-like substance. That's what I'm going to be painting pretty much everything with: chassis, all the suspension components, and anything else that needs a good tough layer of coating. And what else have I got on this table? I've got a new spray gun, look at that, shiny. That's going to be used for all the nice spraying, if you know what I mean, so components and stuff. Whereas I've also got a heavy duty cavity gun type thing, or it goes that way, with a tin that goes under it there. So that's like a Schultz thing with a 360 degree spraying tip, so that can go inside the cavity, so we can use that POR15 in the cavities as well. And that's an old gun which I'll use to spray stuff like thinner or degreaser, or even that metal prep stuff. Ooh, get a bit wobbly. And of course the safety gear, got a respirator. Can't really just use dust masks for this stuff, it's a bit potent. It's funny stuff, it's not like paint. It actually goes off, it cures quicker if it gets damp. So if you're using it in humid conditions, rather than the humidity slowing down the curing process, it actually speeds it up, which isn't good, because if it's cured too quickly, it doesn't bond with the substrate, as in doesn't bond with the metal properly and doesn't work as well. But yeah, seems like good stuff, seems to make sense, and they've got some very confident claims, and I know the classic car world loves it, especially. Now the sound failed on my sound recorder here, it ran out of space, so I'm going to have to dub the rest of this video. This is my new compressor for spraying and stuff. It's got a 3 horsepower motor, which is quite big for a 24 litre one. It's the biggest I could get without having it being certificated and stuff. So that should be useful for spraying. Oh, and this is fun. This is a flamethrower. After I've wet blasted this thing, to stop them flash rusting too much, I'm going to use this to heat them up very quickly and to dry the components. I haven't actually tried it out yet because my lighter wasn't working. Oh, it does seem to be working now. I wasn't going to try it while I was on camera though, because I obviously need 2 hands for that, and it's quite dangerous. So this is the stand where from which I hope to hang all the components, made out of an old bike stand and a couple of stainless steel tubes which were from an old milking parlour. And I've got wires hung from the rail to which we can attach the components, and so that they can be sprayed and dry nicely without coming into too much contact with anything. So now we're going to the garage, where we've got a few parts to show you. I think you've already seen some of these, but just to give you an idea of what we got. Oh, there's the welder. That's Ian's MIG welder. We've got a new bottle of gas for that, and plenty of 0.6 and 0.8. There's a new exhaust. So still umming and ahhing about whether to paint that with the POR. I need to check whether it can handle the heat. But it will certainly prolong its life if we give it a lick of paint, I reckon. And oh, these are the bits from Blood Red Off-Road. I think you might have already seen these in a picture. So these are the brackets to replace the rusty ones on the rear axle, all nice and new, made by Dave Kerr. Some nice Super Pro bushes for the rear trailing arms, and these are the trailing arms to attach from the chassis to the axle. They're heavy duty items which are a bit of an upgrade from the original ones, such as that one there. I treated myself to the slightly stronger ones. I think we'll probably give them a lick of paint, even though they are electroplated. I think it would be nice to stick a bit of POR on them just to give them that extra barrier. And this is the cross member, which will obviously go in place of the broken one. And these end pieces, rather than having to create new round holes for the cross member to go in, we can make a square hole either side of the chassis leg, and then that one will slide in and then weld those two square plates into the chassis legs. So that will slide in and then fit into the end of each end of the cross member, and then we weld around the join there. So that concludes our little tour. Hopefully you've all got a better idea of what I've got planned for Daisy now, so it's not all a big surprise when anybody comes to help me out. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks, guys.